Welcome to the Sonic Shaman Show, home of the Coffee Connect and Conscious Connections. The show is dedicated to empowering you to perceive, know, be, and express your unique voice in this world without the fear of judgment of others through healing, coaching, and educational services. In each episode, Hank and his guests offer tools, techniques, and inspiration to help you step into your potency. Now, here is your host, Hank Setala.
Good morning, everyone. I am here today again with Heather MacMillian, who is a certified facilitator of access consciousness. And today we're talking about getting unstuck, but more specifically, how do you get unstuck if you don't even know you're stuck?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in whenever you're tuning in, whether you're live right now on Earth Day. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I forgot it was Earth Day.
Yeah.
And shame on me. I'm a shaman and I forgot it was Earth Day.
Yeah, the birds were singing this morning. It was like, oh my gosh, what can we create today for Earth Day? Wow.
You know, in hindsight, we'll have an Earth topic tomorrow, perhaps, because if I had realized, I would have totally made an Earth base. But today, the motivation for this topic is, for those of you who don't know, I'm in a 10-day class called How to Become Money. And in this class, it asks a series of questions. And as we've been going through the book and we've been asking these questions, these awarenesses came up of places that I was stuck energetically that I didn't even know that I was stuck. So I thought, what a great topic to kind of offer a little inspiration of how do you find the places where you are where you're stuck but you don't know.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for that. And just to say, like, it's been so much fun. Like today's day 6 of 10, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's just flown by. And the book that Hank was talking about is the How to Become Money workbook. This is what we're going through by Gary M. Douglas, the co-creator of Access Consciousness. And it's this beautiful way to get in touch with what are the points of view that I actually have here. And it can be around money, but it can really be around anything, because this book is not just about money. You can apply it to anything that you've been looking to invite into your life, to create, to have, to be in the world that isn't showing up.
Yeah, on a lot of my streams, I have this little my synopsis of the universe. Source is all there is. Consciousness is all there is. Whatever is all there is. Substitute money for, like you said, anything that's going on in your world. And for that matter, what's the difference between money and between air and between whatever? It's just the way that we're experiencing it in this present moment. But really, source, consciousness is all there is. It's just a question of how much of it you allow yourself to have. And that is the topic of today. Like, what are the things that stop us from really stepping into that space where we're willing to say to the universe, yes, please, I'll have that, whether it's money or that relationship or whatever it is. Where do people start if they like, well, clearly it's not showing up. My life isn't showing up the way I would like it to show up, but I don't know where I'm stuck. Like, that's the frustrating part, where people are actively trying to work on themselves or create more, but they just are like hitting that brick wall.
Yeah. And I mean, that's where I was 8 years ago before I found Access Consciousness and these tools that is such an honor and a privilege to facilitate in the world. I had been going from one thing to another for years, looking to discover, well, what's creating these health problems? Or why isn't my relationship happy and fun? And all of those kinds of things that a lot of us are dealing with. And one of the things that we say, and I really discovered this when I took my first Access Bars class and my first foundation class, is our point of view creates our reality. And where do we get our point of view from? Family, other lifetimes, from just our awareness of everyone around us. And so what if your point of view is creating your reality, not the other way around? And so if you have the point of view that life is really hard, or that it's really difficult to get along with people, or in the case of money, that money is really scarce, that's exactly what the universe is going to show you.
I'm getting a meme ready for something. So for people who know, I love acronyms, and you just mentioned one of my favorite ones, which is family, but I was putting it in just for a banner.
Yes.
So, and family is well intentioned, myself included. I know that I am sticking my kids with points of view that I
Uh-huh.
don't intend to, but at the same time, I'm being as aware as I can to like I just ran a clearing on my son Max today for behavior that his brother was doing. Like, now, Max, don't get caught up like saying I don't want to be anything like with Oliver, because some of what Oliver is doing is like these great potencies and these great gifts. But what if you cut yourself off from being that yourself because you're judging him and how he's acting in the world? So I'm trying to be really mindful. I am being really mindful. Oh, maybe while I finish this, like that's a great thing to talk on is in this How to Become Money workbook, it was talking about these I am statements and shifting from these 5 words that you avoid to these statements of I am creativity, I am power. Could you talk a little bit on that?
Yeah. So what Hank just caught himself with is one of the, the amazing pieces of information that's in the How to Become Money workbook. And it's these words to avoid. And when we find ourselves saying them, it's funny because we realize, oh, this is where I've been sticking myself. Okay, I can make a different choice. I now have the awareness. And one of them is the word try. Because when we say try, we're basically saying we're not going to do that thing. So when someone says, oh, I'll try and call you, you can recognize, oh, they're not going to call me, most likely. They're already saying it to me. So I have that awareness and I can, make different plans or, make a different choice here. But now I have the awareness, and wow, is there so much potency in awareness. And I mean, that's one of the amazing gifts of the money workbook, is really getting present with, oh, wow, that's the point of view that I've been functioning from. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yesterday, there were multiple times it felt like a little. I explained it as getting nuked because I had like this awareness and my entire world shifted in a moment from something that I never realized was sticking me from like childhood or a point of view about wanting to understand a situation, then realizing I'm recreating the situation because I put to the universe, I'd like to understand this, please. So they said, great, here's everything that you need to recreate it for yourself so you know why they made that choice. And it's like, wow, what would it take for me just to be aware without choosing to recreate a scenario from childhood?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the beauty of these tools, is that we can use our awareness to create a greater possibility and ask questions like, wow, what would I really like to create?
And now I have my acronym ready. So there's a lot of acronyms in Access and acronyms in general that I like to use, but family is extra special. And this doesn't mean that
Yes.
when I put this up, it doesn't mean that they're, and no, everybody's well intentioned and everything, but family stands for effed up and mainly interested in limiting you, and
Yes.
not intentionally. It's not like we want the best for our children, but then we say things like, well, don't get your hopes too high, you don't want to be disappointed. And so right
Yes.
there, we're limiting people for not wanting to really go for their true potential or for their highest potential, whatever you want to call it, because we have a point of view about them being hurt, and then they get stuck with that. And then what if they're only running on 10% throttle through their entire life because they are not aspiring to be more than that, because they'd rather not be disappointed if something doesn't work out?
Yeah. I mean, and if you had a family that totally cared about you, desired for you to be happy and have more and more of you every day, and really did everything that they could to contribute to that being your reality, that is so awesome. Amazing choice that you made to have a family like that allowed you to be the gift that you are. And if you didn't, so many of us didn't. And that's what's been so freeing and so amazing for me in my life with these tools. And and really the invitation of so much of Access Consciousness is about, well, what would I like to create? What would it be like to create my own family, to create people who actually care about me and desire for me to be happy?
Right. And when you ask that question, then the next thing is, well, where in my life am I not willing to receive that? And you'll
Yes.
feel it. Like what I've noticed
Yes.
And the money workbook is, as they're going through, like, what is this? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? It's like people will experience that sensation as they answer these questions somewhere physically in their body. And then you hone in on that, like, well, what is this really? And then you start questioning even that energy. Because if you don't know where you're stuck, like yesterday, there were things popping up that I didn't have any awareness around, but it was through the process of asking a non-why question that brought the illumination to then be able to work with it and turn it inside out. I noticed that in the book too, like always turn that inside out, and all these wonderful tools to like start shifting the energy right away.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this book is, a series of 13 questions, and we go through, and there's, a lot of conversation around them, but you really can get a sense of what is my point of view here. Good morning. And now you can see, okay, this is what's showing up for me in my life.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see, was there a question? I think I just got poofed. I joke about that on my stream with Dr. K, like you have a question and then it just soars out. But, part of the motivation, oh, here we go. We have somebody who's also just contributing. It is a gorgeous morning. Well, glorious and gorgeous morning in Minneapolis. So grateful.
Oh, that's amazing. Wonderful.
Well, welcome. So glad that you're joining us. And for the just to mention to everybody who is watching, a lot of the things that we do at the center and everything, and what Heather does all the way out in Maryland, like that's really that far of a way place.
I know it's closer to Ohio than I realized. For the classes in May, I was looking at flights and I was like, wow, I maybe could drive more easily.
Well, especially in this day and time with COVID and everything else. But all that to say, like, no matter where you are in the world, a lot of the things that we're doing right now, like the money workbook and the foundation class, even we're doing as a live stream. Like, we're going to be in person, but we're also streaming it. So if anything calls to you, don't let distance be a factor, because you can. In fact, sometimes it facilitates more change if you're in a class from home. I remember that Brian was telling me when you started doing foundation classes virtually, that because the person was in their home and there was like a lot more change in the household as a result of it. So there's always like this bless in the mess when you have a situation, like really what's right about it that you're not getting, that's adding a potency to what you're experiencing. And when I say potency, I'm more referring to like possibility of things versus like something you're not wanting to show up.
Yeah, and I love that question that you use there. I mean, for anything, what's right about this we're not getting? What's right about me I'm not getting is a fun question to ask.
Yeah. And then Danielle was also offering choices are the key. I don't know why her little avatar is coming through. Yes. And access consciousness.
Hot topic. Yeah.
All about choice. We can do a whole live stream. Like one of the concepts in access is choose in 10-second increments. And if it doesn't work out, you just choose again. If it does work out, you choose again. You're always in the state of giving yourself permission to make a different choice. But how often are we taught, oh, here's another one from childhood, from our family acronym. I don't know when Daniela is tuned in, but I had my family acronym I'll put back up. But like, say you start to take soccer lessons or piano lessons, like, well, you got to see it through. Once you make a choice to do something, you have to take the time to see it through. We're taught as children, and I get it as a parent now. Yeah. I totally get it. But at the same time, though, like, what impact does that have on a child's willingness to something's not working out to choose differently? Like a major in school, would you go all the way through and get a degree in business when 1 year in you realize, this really isn't for me, but because your parents say you got to stick to it, now you're in a career that you hate for the rest of your life. Like, I'm just, making it a little bit dramatized with that, but really that's what happens. And that all gets rooted at a very young age.
Yeah. I mean, wow. What would it be like, and what would be possible what if a choice is only good for 10 seconds? I mean, that's one of the 10 keys to total freedom that we talk about in Access Consciousness. It's a whole book of keys that you can explore, or we talk about it in the foundation class. But really, what if your choices are only good for 10 seconds? And I love that, because, were you ever branded a quitter for letting go of something as a kid that really wasn't fun for you?
Definitely. And Daniela has a comment too. Personal effort is what we need in life. If God would let us live our existence without any obstacles, we would be limited.
Yeah, and really, what else is possible you haven't ever considered? I mean, that's really, when we talk about getting unstuck, it's really what can I create beyond this? What else is possible I haven't ever considered?
And creating with the universe or with God or with the beings of light, whatever vocabulary people want to use,
Yeah.
oftentimes there are other things that could be contributing to our evolution, our solution, if you, however you want to look at it, that
Mhm.
if you're not open to receiving, then how it's kind of like if you're in the rowboat of life and you're rowing, like what other tools could maybe speed you along? Could you get a motor in there if you receive a little help? Like there's a lot of different things that could add potency to the possibilities that you're looking to choose to actualize in your life.
Yeah, I mean, one of those tools I would say for me personally, and for so many, at this point, hundreds of thousands of people around the world, has been access bars. Because in an access bar session, you lay down and you receive, and it melts these limiting points of view that you might not even know that you have, these energetic considerations. And, now it's in, over 176 countries or something like that around the world. And
It's always changing.
yeah, people find that from that space of receiving and peace and nurturance and kindness, that they can invite different possibilities, ask different questions. There's less point of view.
Now, if people are interested on the website there, and I just put it in the comments as well,
Oh, thank you.
there's like two videos about one that we did a live stream on about bars, and I also put the one on with the neuroscientist that
Yeah.
shows like how a 90-minute bar session takes a 5 magnitude anxiety brain. It goes to normal in like 90 minutes. So you can take a look at that. And if you go to accessconsciousness.com, like in Ohio, on the first Thursday of every month, we have a bars clinic where you can come in, just make
Yay.
a love offering, test it out, see what changes might show up
Mm.
in your life. But there are clinics like that all over the world. So no matter what neck of the woods you're in, check out accessconsciousness.com, look up a bars night and really go. Because part of it is also the body just being nurtured. Like we learn to
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah. And when's your next bars class? When are you facilitating bars? What?
I don't have them scheduled at the moment.
Oh my
The
gosh.
next first class is going to be the one when you are here. Well, I might throw one in ahead of time
Yeah.
because I had someone ask for one. So
Awesome.
I may be creating an impromptu bars class. I've just been running fast
You've
with a
been
whole bunch of different
so,
things.
so busy. Yeah. And well, let me know, because I'd like to, contribute energetically to that one. I mean, bars, for me, whenever I can get my bars run, it's an amazing gift, and I'm less stressed and more relaxed. And actually, in Canada, Dr. Terry Hope has been doing some studies, some psychological studies with people who have anxiety, depression, other symptoms like that, and the bars, and what the bars can invite as a different possibility there. So it's something to try. And, as we say in Access, at the worst case, you'll feel like you had a relaxing, great massage. And in the best case, your whole life will change.
I love her name because it gives me one of my other acronyms that I love.
Yes.
This one isn't an access acronym, but I love it. HOPE stands for helping one person every day. And
Yeah,
what
that's
I invite
beautiful.
all of you to do to help people in your world, like videos like this, if it offers inspiration, if it offers possibility for you, you could help somebody just by sharing the video.
Yeah,
Actually, don't
thank
share it.
you.
Invite people, because it's one thing to just share something on social media, but what if you thought of like the one person that could really benefit from it, and you send them
Yeah,
a
who's
message
looking for this?
and you invite them to watch the video. There's a big difference between sharing and inviting. What invitation could you be to help consciousness in the world?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, thank you. Like, and I wake up, and that's especially today on Earth Day. Oh my gosh, I woke up and the birds were singing, and I was like, consciousness, what do you require of me today? And I'm
Still
so
can't believe I
grateful.
forgot
I'm so grateful I get to talk to you. And then actually in 6 minutes, session number 6 of the money workbook begins. So the magic continues. How much fun can we have?
Yeah, and Danielle is just offering all kinds of contributions. She asks for strength, and she receives opportunities to make herself stronger. She asks for wisdom, receives problems to resolve, and all this comes from consciousness, like being the awareness to be able to move through these things and all that. And that's gifted, of course, from the universe. And I asked for prosperity, and the universe gave me a brain and myself to work. So it's wonderful that you ask for things, and things show up in your life. And the wonderful thing that I always like to put in with my requests of the universe is bring it to me with ease.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the mantra of Access Consciousness is all of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. And what would it create in your life if you said that 10 times in the morning and 10 times in the evening? And I love to use that tool as well when I'm doing, chores around the house, and it just opens up this space of happiness.
I love it. Well, we actually have to go because we have our class.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for tuning in. If you want to check out the link, Emergence of Being _possibility, it has a lot of our other live streams where Heather and I talk about the tools of access consciousness, as well as the upcoming classes. And I really, I've taken many classes, and I have like two big hats that I wear. One is access and one is shamanism. But one of the biggest things that have made a difference in my life is the foundation class. So I invite you to look at it and ask the question, what would committing to an experience like this really change in my life right now, 5 years from now, and get a feeling not about should I do it, should I not do it. Really, if I accept the invitation of foundation, the invitation of access, what possibilities, what does my life feel like 5 years from now? And like that, things like questions like that guide you, and possibilities just start showing up in your life exponentially when you start really asking those types of questions, when you invite yourself to experience things.
Yeah. And what if you always know what's going to work for you and what's true for you?
Absolutely. But thank you, everyone. Please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and what contribution could you be to help one person every day by inviting them to possibility? Thank you so much. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today for the show. The Sonic Shaman is part of the Emergence of Being Contributor Network. Visit emergenceofbeing.com to learn about all the contributors and learn about our services and upcoming events. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. You can contribute to the show by supporting our efforts and sharing our content with those you care about and those who need it most.